In December 2025, a special election was held in Tennessee's deep red 7th Congressional District. And while the Republicans prevented a devastating upset, Democrats improved the result by a whopping 12 points compared to 2024. That's the kind of swing you often see in special elections right before a midterm wave wipes out the president's party. The Democrats may not have won in Tennessee, but the result is the latest piece of evidence pointing to a blue wave so big that even gerrymandering won't be able to save the Republicans. See, for the last month or two, we've been seeing polls that show Democrats doing around 7 points better than they did in 2024. And that was more or less reflected in the big Democratic gains in New Jersey and Virginia this past November. Back in 2018, Democrats only needed a 5-point swing to flip 41 seats and win a comfortable majority. But things will be harder this time, since Trump convinced state Republicans to redraw the maps and create more red seats. That set off a redistricting war, with blue states gerrymandering back. And even though most of the new maps give Republicans an edge, the Democrats are leading by enough right now to beat the gerrymanders and hold a lot of their old seats. In some places, the whole thing could backfire, allowing Democrats to win in districts they couldn't before. Let's take a look at the 6 states that have redistricted so far this cycle and see how each party is doing. In Texas, where all of this started, Republicans drew 5 new red districts. They took a risk by creating a few new majority Latino districts that would have voted for Trump in 2024. But 2/3 of Latino voters oppose Trump's mass deportations, not to mention his handling of the cost of living crisis. In New Jersey, where a 1/5 of the population is Latino, they swung back to the Democrats by double digits in 2025. If that happens in Texas, it would put 3 new districts in South Texas back into contention. It even gives Democrats an outside chance in a seat that was already held by Republicans, meaning they could end up only 1 seat down rather than 5. But the worst consequence for Republicans of gerrymandering in Texas is California's response. While Democrats were winning in New Jersey and Virginia, Governor Gavin Newsom was winning a ballot measure that added 5 new Democratic seats in California. All 5 of those seats are likely to go blue, especially in a wave election. Then we have Ohio and North Carolina, who drew 3 new Republican districts between them. But all 3 districts have long-time Democratic incumbents, and like Texas, they'd probably hold on, especially in a blue wave. Then there are the weird ones. In Missouri, Republicans drew an extra seat for themselves, but they're being challenged by a petition, which would delay the new map until voters approved it in the midterms. So they're frantically suing to get the petition voided, which means we don't know whether this one will go through. And then there's also Utah, where a map with 4 Republican seats was thrown out by a judge and replaced with one that created a safe Democratic seat out of nowhere. So Democrats are somehow getting a redistricting win out of this safe red state. A few more states could redistrict, but as of right now, Republicans go into 2026 with a baseline of about 223 seats, 3 more than they won last time. But that doesn't show the whole picture. Incumbents are difficult to unseat, even when their districts are redrawn, and especially when they're on the right side of a wave election. Because of their gains in California and Utah, Democrats only need 6 incumbents to hold on to their redrawn districts to flip the House. And that doesn't even account for all the seats in states without new maps. Add those in, and there are 35 Republican seats outside of California and Utah that could be won by Democrats, according to the analysts at Sabato's crystal ball. That doesn't mean they'll flip every single one of them, but they don't have to. They don't even have to win half. They only need 6, and odds are they'll get many more. With a future like that, it's no wonder so many Republicans are retiring before the next election. Many House Republicans already hate their jobs and complain that their leader, Speaker Mike Johnson, has turned the body into a rubber stamp for the Trump administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a far-right Republican who fell out with Trump, has announced she's resigning before the end of her term, and claims that multiple other Republicans are considering joining her. If just 3 seats flip in House elections in 2026, or if enough Republicans resign, Democrats could take control of the House before the midterms even happen. That's right, the Democrats are winning so big right now that there's a small chance they could win the midterms before a single vote is cast. But that's all hypothetical. For now, Democrats can be happy with their performance in 2025, from New Jersey to Virginia to Tennessee. If Trump wants to stop a blue wave in 2026, he needs to find a way to stop the bleeding and win voters back who have given up on his party. That probably means some big, fundamental changes to how he communicates and governs. Whether he can do that or not is anybody's guess. What do you think? Can Democrats sustain this big lead, or will Trump and Republicans find a way to stop the blue wave? Will this gerrymandering war ultimately help or hurt Republicans? And what does Trump need to do to win back support in time for the midterms? Can he?